What's up YouTube, and Predaking93 here with another card review. This time it is a box of Neo Enforcer. If you don't believe me, my lovely assistant that sits right next to me.
No.
There we go, a box. I've got a pack, she's got a pack. We're going to start off. I open up my first pack. No, it's not on camera. I open up and first off I got Third Warrior Drider. So I've been waiting for this card for a deck that I'm building, which is pretty cool. He's size 1, critical 2, 4,000 defense, 3,000 attack. He goes over here. Next up is, oh god, I can't pronounce this. Pokemelanthus. Which is a size 1 monster for Star World.
Procyon Melampus.
What?
Procyon Melampus.
There you go, you got the official word there. Procyon Melampus. Size 0 for the Star deck for Legend World. So 4,000 attack, 2,000 defense, critical of 1. And next up from my pack is Dragonic Repair Weapon. Return an item from your drop zone to your hand. I got nothing good this pack. Next up is, oh my god, it's another Star one. Taurus Malambra. He's got the penetrate ability, 5,000 attack, critical of 2, 2,000 defense, and he's a size 2 monster. And next up is Dragon Knight Shoshiaboshi, which is a size 2 monster. 5,000 attack, critical is 2, 3,000 defense, and he's got the penetrate ability. That's about it. That was a pretty dead pack if you ask me. Alright, so the next pack for me, like I say, take the solo. This is from Predaqueen. Heavy Troop up Metal Prisoner, which is a Hero World card, which I actually might run in my battler deck. 4,000 defense attack, 2,000 defense, critical of 2, size 1 monster, and has the ride ability. Go. Next up is Battle Deity Robo Nightmare. 0 attack, 5,000 defense. It's a pretty good monster for defense, but if you're counting on it attacking, it's got 0 attack, and he's got a critical of 2, and he's a size 1. Alright. Right, turn it off then. Next up is Dragonic Survive. Sorry, I haven't ate all day, so we're just cooking at the same time. Which is pay 2 gauge, destroy a monster on the field with 6,000 power, defense or less. Next up is Dragon Knight Bat Masterson. Okay, this is the first time. Right, I'm just gonna show. First time there's a gun been printed on BuddyFight that looks like a proper gun. Focus. Come on, focus. There we go. But he's got 1,000 attack, 3,000 defense, size 1, critical of 2, and he can move. And next up, I've actually had this card before and I gave it away as a prize. Crimson Battler Guns Knuckle Dragon, and I don't mean a prize on YouTube. I mean it's a prize in a fight that I had. It has the ability, if you have an item equipped with fist in its name, this card gains penetrate. Size 1, defense of 1, critical of 2, and attack of 3. And when I say it like that, it's just saving of time. Next up is the next pack, which it has some pretty decent cards. Next up is Slicer Guard, which is a spell for the Asgard deck. Choose a monster on your field for this turn. This monster give it a 2,000 power boost and penetrate. It's not a bad card. Next up is Deathquake Dragon, which honestly this has the better defense of Bronze Shield Dragon. Or Brass Shield. This has 9,000 defense, critical of 2, 5,000 attack. It's got a pay 1 gauge cost, and it's a size 2 monster, so it's not too bad. Next up is Frostwall Nevvel. This is really good for an Asgard deck. it seriously is one of the most sought out cards for an Asgard deck, for the simple fact is if you have another Asgard monster on your field, this card and this card is in your center, this card cannot be destroyed by an attack. This makes your center absolutely overpowered. So as long as the cards have got penetrate, it can get through, but that's about it. Next up is Chosen Chosen Being, sorry. Choose a size 2 or greater star monster on your field, and for this turn, give it double attack. So it's pretty good for the Star Dragon deck. Next up is a Ancient World card, pay 1, which is Demonic Fairy Dragon Sorcier, which has got 4,000 attack, 1,000 defense, critical of 2, size 1 monster. Pay 1 gauge when this card is attacked by... Wait, when a card attacked by this card is just... hang on. When an attack by this card destroys an opponent's monster, for this turn this card gains double attack. So it allows it to double attack as soon as you destroy your opponent's monster. Alright, I'm going to have food and hopefully do a jump cut. I'll catch you guys later. And we're back. What seemed to be seconds for you was only about 20 minutes for us. Alright, so I'm on to my 4th pack. I have Island Dragon of the original Little Land Moo, who is a size 0 Ancient World card with 4,000 attack, 1,000 defense, and a critical of 1. Next up is Battle Deity Robo Sky Dragon, which is a size 1 monster with 6,000 attack, 1,000 defense, 2 critical, and a pay gauge of 1. Oh, nice one. Next up is another Dragonic Survive, which I had in the last pack. Next up, Soaring Dragon Fairy Skylines. It's a spell card for Ancient World. Pay 2 gauge, draw 3 cards and discard 2 cards from your hand, and you may only cast this card once per turn. So it's decent, especially if you're running the Battle Spirits or the Fairies. Next up is another card which I want for my hero deck, which is Cyber Police Lightning Chaser. 4,000 attack, 1,000 defense, critical of 2, size 1. And when this card is when an attack by this card destroys an opponent's monster, put the top card of your deck into the gauge. That's the main reason why I want him. So, you know, he's just going to be put over here. Next up is the pack from my little Queen Predator Queen, sorry. Which is she's got the Sky Splitting Aura Masamura, which is from the anime for the Balor Spirits. Which is Balor Raging Spirits, sorry. Which has got 3,000 attack, 2 critical. And you know, I'm actually going to be building this deck, so it's a good thing that I got it. She got me first Warrior Einder to go with my Drider. Which has the transform ability, pay 1 gauge and transform into him. 5,000 power, 2 critical, 1,000 defense. That's another card that I've wanted. Next up is Secret Army of the Divine King. Vondan Shadow. Pay 2 gauge. It's a Legend World card as well. Pay 2 gauge. When this card is called to the field, you may use one of the following abilities. Take it slow, woman. I haven't even got a chance to do my packs yet.
I'm just giving you your packs for you.
Choose a weapon from your drop zone. Equip it and pay its equip cost. And the other one is choose a spell with set in its name from your drop zone and call it by paying its thing. It's core cost. Next up is the other 100 demons that I was looking for, which is Bronze Giant Talus. 2,000 attack, 6,000 defense, 3 critical. That's going to go over there because I need it for my 100 demon deck. And next up is Drago Blade Drum Sword, which everybody has. You pay 1 life. If you don't have a drum in its name, you pay another life. When this monster is when a monster on the field is returned to your hand or deck for this turn, This card gains an extra critical, and the ability is only once per turn. Next up is Mobile Berserk Gamutz. Yet again, pronunciation's not my best thing. Size 2, power 7,000, 5,000 defense, 2 critical. It's a pretty good Hero World card if you need Hero World cards for Brave Machines. Next up is Dragon Perdance, which is the negator spell for Ancient World. So that's pretty good. Next up is another Dragonic Repair Shield. This time it's Repair Shield, which means you can return a Dragonic Shield if it's got Dragon Shield in its name. You can return it from the drop zone, but you gotta pay 2 gauge to use it. Next up is Moon Celestial Cell, which is Selene, which is a size 0 Star World monster. If my girlfriend really wanted, I could build her the star deck at this rate. 2,000 attack, 1,000 defense, critical of 2. And next up is, the one that equipment that Gao uses in the anime, which is Explosive Takedown, Rampage Sonic. Pay 1 gauge to equip it, 5,000 attack, 3,000 defense, 3 critical. It's an okay card, but I've found out there's better cards in the packs. Next up is Reckless Bravery, which is basically a pretty decent card for the Hero World decks, which is choose a monster on your field. For this turn, it gains 5,000 power and critical. At the end of the turn, the monster is put into your gauge. So it helps you gain gauge as well as, destroy your opponent's field. Next up is Crimson Battler, Regale Leg Dragon. It's a size 1 monster, 4,000 attack, 3,000 defense, 1 critical, and it's got an effect. If you have an item equipped, this card gains 2,000 power and defense, so it's really good if you need a defensive card or an attacking card. Next up is another Crimson Battler, Arm Shield Dragon, which is another one for, your defense, because it's got 7,000 defense. It's a size 2 monster, 2,000 attack, and 3 critical. Next up is Superior Buddy. Pay 1 gauge, it's a spell, set, all body monsters on your field gain penetrate. So, as long as you have, say 3 drums, if you manage to get them on the field, they would all have penetrate. Next up is actually the card that I was looking for my Raging Spirits deck that I'm building, because it's my buddy. Raging Spirit, Eternal Overlord, Gang the King, which is a pretty decent card when you listen to what he's got. 7,000 attack, 4,000 defense, a critical of 5. He's a size 3 monster. Pay 3 gauge. When an opponent's card attacks, change the target to this card. If there is 3 or more Raging Spirits in your drop zone, this card gains 6,000 power. It has Penetrate and Lifelink. That card is a beast, so I'm just going to put him over here with my rare stuff and my stuff that I want. Alright, I got 3 packs to go through now, because somebody won't slow down. Oh, well, this is going to be good. Next up, I got from this pack, Gathering the Armored Dragons. It's a counter spell for the Raging Dragon deck. So it allows you to counter, it's sort of like the Dragon Arms and all that, which means counter, choose a Raging Spirit on the field in battle. It gains 3,000 power and defense, and it gains a counter attack. Next up is the if you're watching this, next up is the Horn of Demise Galahorn. There's an inside joke with me and my friends about this. I'll explain it in another video. Pay 1 gauge, search your deck for a Great Spirit Feeble Winter, Great Spell Feeble Winter, and put it into your hand and shuffle your deck. That's really good if you use the Feeble Winter combo. Next up is another Dragonic Repair weapon. So we saw that before. Next up is Blizzard left Brooder. Act freezing prison. If a size 3 monster on your field is rest this card. If you do, give all monsters on your opponent's field defense minus 5,000. It's a size 1 monster with 1,000 size 0 monster with 1,000 attack, 2,000 defense, and a critical of 1. That's really good if you're running the battle spirits, because then you can decrease your opponent's monsters by a lot. Next up is the true buddy of my deck, which is Drago Kid Ricky. Nullify the lifelink of a size 3 Raging Spirit monster on your field. So basically, this card allows me to nullify any lifelink if I wanted to. He's 3,000 attack, 3,000 defense, 1 critical, and he's a size 0. And he's getting put over here with this guy, because he's quite important. Pardon me. Next up is another heavy trooper metal prisoner, but this time it's shiny. A lot of the common stuff has become shiny now and then. Oh, well, I've got something for my Crimson deck now. Next up is Actor Knight of the Sun, which is a size 2 monster, attack 4,000, defense 6,000, and a critical of 2, but no ability. Next up is another Crimson Battler Shield Arm Dragon. Next up, another Frostwall Novell. So I can build her a pretty decent Legend World deck. And next up is a card that is featured constantly in the anime, Gargantua Crusher, which is basically the signature card for Gao now. You may only cast this if your opponent has 4 life or less, and you have a card equipped with Fist in its name, and neither you or your opponent, you or your opponent have a monster in the center. Pay 3 gauge, deal 4 damage to your opponent. The damage cannot be nullified. That's a pretty decent card, but trying to get 4 of them, or 3 at least, for the deck, it's kind of hard. Next up is my last pack. Oh god. Let's just say I've managed to get 2 triple rares. Hang on. I need to take a look at the box for a second. So there are 8 triple rare, 14 double rare, 24 rare, 30 uncommon, and 34 common, 1 buddy rare, 4 SP, and 5 secrets, and potentially in a box. First up is Card Serpent, which I actually need to go into my deck. It has 5,000 attack, 2,000 defense, 2 critical, and it's a size 1. No effect. Next up is, oh god, another star that I can't pronounce. I may as well just make it a Star Legend World deck. I may as well. It's Sela Organa, or Capella Organa. The mother's going to read it.
Capelia Origar.
Capelia Origar, thank you.
There you go.
4,000 attack, 5,000 defense, size 1 monster, and 1 critical. No ability. Next up is Ice Emperor Thudulgama. It's basically the Frost King from Asgard. 6,000 attack, 2,000 defense, 3 critical, size 2, no ability. Next up is, oh god, it's another Battle Deity Robo Ginbu. Pay 2 gauge to play this card. 4,000 attack, 4,000 defense, 4 critical, so it's 444. I believe there's something to do with the Japanese in 4s. Apparently being lucky. Next up is the triple red that I was saying. Second Crimson Chieftain Burning Forge. Pay 2 gauge. An item on your field with Fist in its name gets critical. This card has double attack, 8,000 attack, 2 critical, and 6,000 defense. And did you start another pack?
Not before.
Alright, so... Oh, this is getting good. This is getting good for my dragon, what do you call the deck? Up next is another Gathering of the Dragons. She's managed to get a second warrior, Can anybody pronounce this?
Let's have it.
I've never been able to...
Second warrior, Zwider or something.
Zwider.
Swider. Yeah, something like that.
Swider? Swider?
Spider.
Yeah, I was
Zwider.
Second warrior spider.
Yeah, I was right then.
Right, I'm going to say now, Bushy Road. This is a card game that's meant for kids. How are they supposed to say Swider?
Spider.
It's like a Power Ranger, I'm sorry.
It is.
It looks like a Power
It's the
Ranger.
Quartet 5. It's the one of the decks I want to build. Their Megazord is in here somewhere. But sideways would be the best way.
I can't do it.
Next up is Dragon Knight. It's another Dragon Knight. It's not going to get used, but just for the sake of the review. Size 1 monster with 4,000 attack, critical 3, 1,000 defense. Dragon Knight Todazaku. And it's pay 1 gauge. Next up is 100 Demons, which actually I want to use in my deck. Pay 1 gauge, which is Rage, Thirst, Emperor, Grand Wildness. Pay 1 gauge when this card attacks. When an attack by this card destroys an opponent's monster on your field, gain 2 life. It's 5,000 attack and defense and critical, and it's pretty cool because it's a size 2 monster that gives you life. Next up is the other card that goes with this one, which is Bash Dragon Emperor Champion Lord. Pay 2 gauge when an opponent's card attacks, to choose a target. Basically, it changes your opponent's target to this card. He's another size 3 monster with a double attack and lifelink. That's the thing with the Raging Spirit deck. They're all size 3, except for Ricky. Hopefully I can get something decent to go with him. But so far, I've pulled okay. I haven't pulled decent like the Ozzy Dahaka card, which I'm annoyed at. Next up is the Pokemonker's dog thing again. Is Mobile Berserk Garmin Guts again. Act Knights of the Moon. Now this one's a new one. It's size 1 monster with 7,000 attack, 3,000 defense, a critical of 1, and pay gauge of 1. Next up is Dragon Arcade. Arcade?
Accolade.
Arcadida. Arcadia. Sorry, I couldn't see because of the text when I looked at the proper thing. So, it's a set spell. At the beginning of your main phase, you gain 1 life. You may only set 1 of these on the field. That's pretty decent. Oh my god, this one's gonna take forever to read. Next up is Damage Control. It's a set spell for the generic world deck. Act. During your opponent's turn, discard a card from your hand. If you do, the next damage that would be dealt to you is reduced by 2. If the card you discard is Battle Deity Robo, the next damage that would be dealt for this turn would be reduced by 4 instead. You may only use this ability once per turn. My god, that's a long card. I got another one of these. Next up is Blazing Dragon Fist Drago Burst. I actually use this in my Dragon World deck, and it's really good. It's basically like, you know, the other Dragon Sword, Drago Fear, instead of Drago Blade. This is even better because it's quite common to get, so if you want to run fist cards, use this. 5,000 attack, critical of 2, pay 1 life. That's why I like it instead. We got another Battle Deity Nightmare. Oh! She's managed to get... Product Queen managed to pull 2 cards that I need. So, the Dream I Had Went is a spell card for Hero World. You may only cast this during your opponent's casting a spell. Pay 2 gauge, nullify the spell your opponent's casting. If you get 4 of them, they will mess up Magic World. And next up is Double Impact Sword Slasher. Impact Double Sword Slasher, sorry. This is the Ultimate Card Burn Impact. It's specifically, I've got to write Ultimate Card Burn. And I have no monsters in the center, and neither does my opponent. Pay 4 gauge and deal 5 damage to your opponent. this card is really good, especially if you get the ones that you need. Like, I need Card Burn, Card Serpent, and Card Rhino. Which, so far, out of all the packs that I've got, I haven't come across. I'm a bit worried. Next up, that's another Dragon Perdinance. Another Deathquake Dragon. Another Heavy Trooper. Oh, here we go. Surprised this isn't, I'm surprised this is, oh, it's a quartet, so this is actually a ranger as well. Superhero, Quartet 5. Hero Hunter Sabin. When this card attacks, pay 1 gauge. Transform, pay 1 gauge. 5,000 attack, 5,000 defense, critical of 2. That's pretty good. Oh, next up is the actual card that he uses in the show. Crimson Fist, Drago Blaze. Pay 1 gauge, 3,000 attack, 3 critical. I've got a lot of fist cards. This thing. And we're finally dividing out how many packets I've got left. How many packs are left? How many packs are left? I've got 5. How many you got?
1, 2, 3, 4, 5.
Right, so there's 5 I've got, there's 5 that Predator Queen's got, and the Predator Mother's got 4. My god, we're at 14. Oh, god, that's one pack that I'm hoping I've got. If I do get it, I will get a £95 card. I will be so happy. It's the secret rare pack. The odds of getting it though are extremely high. Oh my god, yes. I am so happy. So I've got another First Warrior Islander. And another of the Star cards. I got another of this card. The demonic thing from Asgard. Next up is a new card. Which is Type 36 Armored Convoy Rodgario. 4,000 attack, 3 critical, 4,000 defense. Pay 2 to ride it. It's an okay card. Now, this is where I get personally quite happy. I've just pulled Ultimate Card Burn. I've only got 1 card missing from my set so far, I believe, or 2. This card cannot enter the field other than by the act of card burn. This card cannot be destroyed nor returned to the hand when ridden. It is double attack, 12,000 defense. I may be in luck today. Right, so I'm gonna do what Predator Queen's got. So she's got another Zvider. Actor Knight of the Moon. Sorry, there's going to be a phone call here. Battle Deity Robo with the Sky Dragon again. Oh, this is pretty good. Starbow Artemis Arrow. This is something that Predator Queen will need if she uses the Star deck. Equipped equip cost, pay 1 gauge. This card cannot attack this card can attack even if there's a monster in your center. And it's got 3,000 attack, 1 critical. Next up, I've got Dragon Return System set spell. This is quite long. When a monster on the field is returned to your hand or deck, put the top card of your deck into your gauge. This ability activates once per turn. If your life would become 0, put the card into your drop zone and put the top card of your deck into your drop zone. If that card is a spell, your life becomes 2. And you may only set this card one of these cards. And oh my god, I have got so much. I'm going to leave my 4 packs till the end because I've got a feeling I may have a secret pack. No, I want to open them because if there is a secret pack, I would like to capture my response on camera.
Come on then.
So next up is Fire Roll Cannons. Pay 2 gauge. Destroy all monsters on your opponent's field with 3,000 power or less. Or 3,000 defense. It's defense and power or less. It's just written weirdly. Next up is Blood Dragon Emperor Vopal Sparta, sorry. 6,000 attack, critical 3, and 2,000 defense. That's actually going to go there because that could do well in a deck. Another Dragonic Survive, another Dragonic Knight Batsman. So next up is the 9th Warrior 9 for the Quartet 5. Now, I've almost got every Quartet 5 card now, except for their Megazords. If you are transformed into this card, you can attack even if there's a Quartet 5 in your center. Pay 1 gauge to transform, 3,000 power, 3,000 defense, 1 critical, and she's size 1. I am doing so well on the Quartet 5. Up next is another Blood Dragon Emperor Vopal Sparta. Another First Warrior. Another Dragonic Repair, and oh my god, yes, I am so fucking happy. Sorry for the swearing, but oh my god, yes.
Love you.
I love you too. She managed to pull card Rhino. I now have card Burn Somewhere, card Serpent, and card Rhino. I'm happy. Card Rhino has the Rhino Crush ability. Pay 1 gauge. If you do, for this turn, this card gains 2,000 power and penetrate. It has 4,000 power, 6,000 defense, 2 critical, and it's a size 2 monster. Next up, oh my god, is another cool card, which is Rescue Dragon Mech Braver. Has a counter ability. During an attack on your opponent's turn, pay 1 gauge. If you do, call this card from your hand to the center and change its target to the attack this card instead, and it has the move ability if you call it normally. 1,000 power, 1 critical, 4,000 defense. So you know what? That's a decent hero card. That's gonna go on the hero pile that I've got going. Oh god, next up is I'm just gonna say its last name, Lapis. Stratus Lapis. 5,000 power, 1,000 defense, critical of 2, size 1, and it's another bloody star. At this rate, I will make her the Star Dragon deck. Star Dragon? Okay, so next up is another Bestiary Nightmare. Next up is another Dragon of the Origin Little Matland Mew. Next up is a new card, which is Wind Caller Cavalry Vortex Arms. This card cannot be called to the center. Pay 1 gauge. Size 3 monster with 7 attack, 7 defense, and critical of 4? God, that thing would decimate. And next up is an impact, which is Rampage Blaster. You may only cast this if your opponent has 3 life or less. If you are transformed into Explosive Takedown Rampage Sonic. Pay 2 gauge, deal 3 damage to your opponent. So I technically use the Battle Machine deck, so I don't need the takedown cards. I don't need equipment like that, so I'm pretty solid. Next up is another Sky Splitting Armor, which is pretty good. Next up is another Fire Roll Cannons, another Galahorn. Here's something new. Crimson Battler Break Shoulder Dragon, which has a 1,000 defense, 1,000 attack, but a critical 3. So, if you got this guy in your hand, use him first turn. Because I swear to God, you will not get it. If you go first, use him. Because you'll never get a chance to use him ever again. Because of the attack and defense and the size, which is all 1, 1, 1. Next up is a new card as well. Dragon Knight oh my god. Dragon Knight Calamity Jane. Right, I know there's been... Right, I'm not joking. There is an Abraham Lincoln one and a Tutankhamun. Ugh. My mind's breaking right now with Bushy Road. Anyways, act ability. Rest a Dragon Knight monster on your field. If you do, put a card from your opponent's gauge into his or hers drop zone. It's not a bad ability if you're running a Dragon Knight deck. 6,000 attack, 3,000 defense, and a critical of 2. I got Omega Calamity Jane. Pretty good. For its ability. The Predator Queen's packs are done, and she's actually got me another Crimson Battler, which I needed for the deck. So she's got another of the Star card. I'm just going to be building that deck. Sod it. Another card, Serpent. Hey, I knew this was going to happen. So I'm just going to quickly adjust.
Oh.
Haha, can't die on me now. Sorry about this. It was dying on it, so... This thing's not holding a charge anymore. So next up I've got an Arc Knight of the Sun again. Arc Knight of the Stars this time. Pay 2... Alright. At the beginning of your main phase you gain 1 life. It's got a 2,000 attack, 1,000 power defense, sorry, and a critical of 1. I'm getting tired. And last but not least from Predator Queen was Crimson Battler, Drum Bunker Dragon. Pay 1 gauge and put the top card of your deck into this card's soul. If you have a card with Fist in its name, this card gains Penetrate. So it's really good to combo with Fist cards. Next up is the Predator Mother's cotton packs, which she's so kindly cut vertically.
Horizontally.
Okay, I need to give this to someone. I promised him as soon as I got this I would give him it. No, it's not who you think it is. It's one of the lads that I owe for a card. So the first card that she got was Martian UFO Takoshu, which has the Martian Zap Beam. If you ride this on this card, pay 1 gauge. If you do, declare a name of a card and look at all the cards on your opponent's hand. In your opponent's hand, sorry. If the declared monster is declared card is among them, deal 2 damage to your opponent. You may only use this ability once per turn. Its ride is 1 gauge. It has 4 attack, 2,000 defense, and a critical of 1. That's going to get set aside for a friend. Okay, so next up is... What the hell? Makela Sword Dragon? Pay 1 gauge. If you have 5 or more different monsters in your drop zone, this card gains 3,000 power and critical. Standing at a 5/5, that is not a bad boost. With a critical 3 already, and a size 2. Oh god, that would make any... If you had run 3 of them, that would make a deck OP as hell. Next up is another Drago Fist, Drago Burst. Next up is another Crimson Battler, Regal Leg Dragon. And next up is Red Shield Dragon. May only cast this during an attack your opponent on your opponent's turn if you don't have a monster in the center. Pay 2 gauge, negate the attack and deal 1 damage to your opponent. So it's better than Green Dragon Shield in my opinion, for the simple fact is Green Dragon Shield heals you. You can just damage your opponent instead. Ugh. Getting close to the end of this box, and then I got another box to review. At least it's a half box, and that was the Predator Mother burp in there.
I wish I was just open myself.
Yeah. Sky Splitting. I got another Sky Splitter, so I'm not too fussed about that. Oh yes, I got some decent cards here. I got another Reckless Bravery. I'm not doing them just yet. So I got another. This time it's Crimson Battler Bay Rush Drake, which has no ability. It's a size 1 monster, 5,000 attack, critical of 2, 1,000 defense. Next up is what I actually need for my Sentai deck. New program, 3-man squad, Quartet 5. Search your deck for up to one size 2 or less Quartet 5 members. Put into your hand. Shuffle your deck. You may. Oh God, my cat's attacking us now. You may only cast this card once per turn. And he's just made a guest appearance on the show.
And he's soaking.
Why are you sulking? Get away from cards. And the last card for this pack was Hyper Energy, which I actually need 3 of, and I've already got 1. Put 4 cards from the top of your deck into the gauge. You may only cast this card once per turn. I'm getting to the final stretch. I'm up to this. I'm on the 7th pack of this. I got another Dragon Emperor. I got another Beast Dragon. Beast Deity Dragon. Oh, she actually got 2 cards that I need. Got another Crimson Battler. Next up is Fang/Drum, which is basically a wild version of Drum Bunker Dragon. 5,000 attack, 5,000 defense, critical of 2, a size 2, and it has the move ability. And the last one is my buddy that I'm wanting to run right now for my 100 demons, which is Ice Prison Emperor Cocytus Greed, which has the ability of, when this card enters the field, put the top card of your opponent's gauge into his or her drop zone, and put the top card of your deck into your gauge. Pay 3 gauge. If you do, destroy a monster on your opponent's field, and it is a lifelink of 1. It's a 4,000 attack, 4,000 defense, 2 critical of 2, and it's size 2. So far, I've got three cards that were from the Wilderness one, which is... I can't talk right now. Oh God, brain function not. Alright, so next up is another Lapis. Next up is another leg, Radical Leg, or Regale Leg, or whatever you want to call it. Actually, next up is 3 cards that I actually needed, which is Card Burn. Fucking knew it. I always put in 18 in case I swear. Next up is Cyber Police Assault Leader, which is another card that I needed. Oh, by the way, the Card Burn. I got so excited. Has a 4,000 attack, critical 1, 3,000 defense, size 1 monster. Has the act ability, pay 4 gauge. If you do, you may put Card Serpent, Card Rhino, and this card from your hand into the drop zone. If you do, ride Ultimate Card Burn from your hand. If you search your deck, shuffle it, pay 2 gauge. So that thing, no matter what, allows you to look for Ultimate Card Burn. And Cyber Policeman, like I said, 6,000 attack, 2 critical, 1,000 defense, size 1. And last up for this pack is Maximum I can't speak. Maximum Manliness, Palm of the Fury Dragon, which is an impact for Raging Spirits. You may only cast this if you have a size 3 monster on your field, pay 3 gauge, destroy all monsters on your opponent's field, and deal 2 damage to your opponent. That's not a bad card to end the move on. Alright, so the last one from the Predamother. Oh, nice one. I got another Card Burn. It's another Island Dragon. Another Third Warrior Drider. Another Ice Emperor. Dragonic Air Raid, which is pay 3 gauge for 1 life to destroy a card on the field. And it's another Card Burn, which I'm dead pleased about. So I'm about halfway there for my Card Burns. Next up is my final packs, and I'm going to start with the very far one. Damn it, it's not a secret pack. It's another Heavy Trooper. Another Sizengard, sorry. Another Actor Knight of the Moon, basically. Next up is another card that I needed for my deck, and I've already got one of them. Why is there a banana peel here? You may only cast this when your opponent calls a size 2 or less monster on the field and rests the card. And last but not least for the Predator Mother is actually a set spell. Right, I'm taking this box as me to build you this goddamn star deck. Listen to this. Great Fate, Frozen Stars. Set. If there is a star on your left and right, nullify all abilities of the cards on your opponent's field in the soul of your opponent's card. So this would go really well against the Star Dragon rule deck. The abilities of the cards this card cannot be nullified, and you may only set one of these cards per turn. So I'm taking like half of this is probably star cards. You've seen hang on actually. I forgot to add all these. But yeah, there's some more of the stuff. Alright. God damn it! Not in. Okay, so got another of the fire roll cannons. Another one of him. I can't pronounce his name. Dragon Knight Toaster Barassi or something. Another Ice Emperor. Battle Deity Support. It's the counter for the Battle Deities. Like I explained before, there are certain support cards like this for each deck and each world. And this basically gives them a 4,000 power and defense boost and the counter attack ability. And but last but not least for this pack is Dragon Executioner Knight Siegfried. Which is pay 1 gauge when this card... Siegfried. Pay 1 gauge when this card enters the field. Destroy a monster on your opponent's field with dragon in its attribute. And it has the move ability. And it's 4,000 attack, 5,000 defense, size 2, critical of 2. Now, this will go well if your opponent has Dragon Ein. Which I haven't come across. Final 2. God, pray that one of these has got Dragon Ein in. The pack that I've opened does not have that. It has Third Warrior Drider, Dragon Repair Shield, Secret Army of Divine King Valdus Shadow, and Moon of the Moon Wolf Mandagoragma? Pay 2 gauge when this card enters the field. It is not affected by any effects of Gunpra and can attack. This has got the weirdest ability, but it's got 9,000 attack and 6,000 defense, critical 3 and penetrate. So it's got a decent ability. And next up is the new Dragon support card, which is Drago Defense, which I don't know why. But this is the same ability as the other one that I told you about. You may only cast this at the beginning of your monster's attack. Choose one monster in battle. For this battle, give it 4,000 defense and counter attack. Last pack. I'm not looking. These are the ones I want. You know, just put them all together and I'll go through them later. Ladies and gentlemen, we don't have a winner. Red Dragon Shield as before.
Sorry.
Dragonic Repair. Chosen Being. Oh, here we go. Here's a good one. You may only cast this. It's called Hero's Climax. You may only cast this card if a superhero destroys 2 or more of your opponent's monsters by an attack during this turn. Counter, you gain 2 life. Stand an item on your field. You may only cast Hero Climax once per turn. And of course, I got the 5th Omni Divine Arts, Howling Storm, and I don't even have Tenbu. You may only cast this if your opponent has, if you have 6 life or less. Pay 3 gauge. Destroy a card on your opponent's field and deal 2 damage.
25.
Right. In this entire thing, she got 25 star cards. I'm not. No, wait, no, that's not 25. She's got a mixture of Legend World cards, but there's about 25 cards here. Maybe more. So, that wraps it up for this box. So, I'll catch you guys on the flip side. And, you know what? It wasn't a bad haul, let's be honest. Right, I'll speak to you guys in a bit.